17 countries, including Nigeria. And just when there seemed to be some reprieve with daily cases dropping below 400,000, the world was shocked to see dozens of bodies floating on River Ganges. Well, Nabila Jamal is a journalist in India. She joins us live from Delhi to give us some more updates on the situation there. Nabila, great to have you on the program again. I mean, it was a deeply disturbing sight, I must say, seeing those bodies wash up on the Ganges River. What more can you tell us about the investigations and the general mood there?
Well, what I can say is that families are devastated. Many of them not finding a space at crematoriums. And that's why we see crematoriums running full. It seems like people there along the Ganges looked like they had no choice, thought that the water was holy and that was the only send-off or dignified send-off that they could give to their loved ones. And what we should be looking at here is the fact that crematoriums are running full. In fact, respective state governments, districts are finding new spots to come up with new burial grounds, new crematoriums to accommodate the onslaught of bodies that are coming in of those who lost their lives to this COVID pandemic. It is unfortunate. We're looking at daily case count today at about 3.5 million, with 4,205 deaths that's been reported in the last 24 hours. Even though we are seeing a case, the daily cases have dipped a slight bit because of several states that have gone into a complete lockdown, but still it doesn't seem like the worst is over. We have a long way to go because we've barely got about 10% of the population got one dose of the vaccine. Only 2% of the population has got 3 years, before which our entire population of 1.4 billion people will be vaccinated. And that's what's the worry here, because the more we delay the vaccination, the more we are noticing that the coronavirus strain is mutating. There are that many mutant strains that have been found in India, and it seems like that's what's risky now. Will these mutants, or will this vaccine beat the mutants that we see day after day that's cropping up?
And I think to boost that whole vaccine conversation and production generally, India has also thrown its weight behind, waiving of a vaccine patent and the rest. Just how far has that gone, especially seeing that India has a huge capacity to actually produce vaccines compared to other countries?
Well, our Prime Minister Modi is considering that. In fact, a lot of the opposition parties have been criticizing the government for not opening up or not flexing the manufacturing units or share the patents with other manufacturing companies. It could have been done by now. It seems like the pace is slow. We have learned from our lessons, but well, not in time, it appears, before we've lost so many lives. But now there is consideration for flexing the patents that are already existing in India, so that more production companies now come forward to manufacture the COVID-19 vaccines. In fact, India has also requested the United States to share its patent. The United States is still mulling over it. But nonetheless, we are getting vaccines from Russia. The first consignment has already come in of Sputnik V. In fact, India is also in the government itself. The government of India has incentivized the COVID vaccine manufacturing companies with thousands of crores of funds so that they can maximize their production. So we are looking at this happening, but understandably at a slow pace, considering that the entire country is a lockdown, the government is in shock, people are in shock, so they're trying to pace it up. It doesn't seem like it's working in time, though.
Well, Nabila, another concerning development is seeing people use cow dung as some perceived cure for COVID-19. Now, I know there have been very unusual methods employed to cure this virus, but where did this come from?
Well, this is definitely not certified or stated by any medical expert or professional in India. This is, of course, on the sidelines in rural areas. People are trying to use all sorts of cures to fight COVID. It's the scare and the panic that's resulted in this kind of fallout, where people are reacting in different ways. They're trying different measures, trying different methods to kill the virus. Unfortunately, that, like I mentioned again, we're a population possibly where it's very difficult for people to reach out far and wide, villages and rural areas, to try and make people understand that this virus is real and it's not a curse. Many of them still believe that this is just, it's just a propaganda. It's a Chinese propaganda. It's just a story which will fade away. And it's a curse. Many of them believe it's a curse. And that's unfortunate because we're looking at India having about 40% of the urban population, which are more educated and more enlightened, versus close to 60% of the rural population who lack the knowledge that COVID-19 virus is something that is serious and it can't be cured with ingredients like you mentioned. So this is a knowledge that is slowly and steadily being dispatched, but we're getting there.
I know with over 1 billion population, it must be a huge challenge on the hands of the government. But I'd like to thank you so much, Nabila Jamal, for always sharing your thoughts on the program with us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Coyote.